Hello, thank you so much for joining me. My name is Janine McGowan, and this is the Blue Flower Flosstube. It's actually Friday evening for me, but I probably won't get this posted until tomorrow morning. I'm just taking the opportunity to get it filmed so that I can have a little bit more free time in the morning. You can see we've got Mosi coming in the background as well, so if she decides it's time for her to eat, we may have to pause for a minute, but hopefully she's just gonna come in and join us. And if you do hear snoring, that'll be Dunkle. My husband's been out of town this week, so Dunkle's had to make do with backup human. That's me. Mosi, really? Is that a thing you need to do? I don't think so. Okay, hopefully everyone's settled in now. But as I was saying, if you hear snoring in the background, it's because Dunkle is in here, where usually he is with my husband. So he's been putting up with me all week. Jumping right in, we have so much good stitching in action. First off, we have Festive Forest, stitched by Dale. Not only did she do a great finish, but she also said she wants to do more of these muffin style designs, so that is high praise. And I need to pull up my notes and see what ideas I had when we were talking over Jingle Ball about doing different options of these. So I know we talked about some fun stuff, and I want to take a look and see what we can get done, because it is a really fun design to play with. Gives you a chance to try something new, so as long as people like them, I will keep doing them. I also have to point out her magnificent cohort here, Duke. She said Duke also likes the finish, so yes, you can't go wrong with Duke. He looks beautiful. Thank you so much, Dale, for sharing that. Next up, we have Quilting Bee. This was stitched by Bridget, and she did a full DMC substitution, so I won't read that all out here, but I'll put it on the website when I put in the Stitching in Action section, so you can see all of the choices that she made. I love the way it came out, and it looks like she's going to make it into a wall hanging, so that part's not done yet, but she says she's just got to get some finishing work done. But beautiful stitching, Bridget. Thank you for sharing. Next up, we have Sleeping Bee and Rye. We've got everyone in here today. We've got Sleeping Bee stitched by Stacy. She used a shaker box for finishing, and she added Mill Hill beads for extra sparkle in the open spaces and some of the white stitching areas. So I'm going to try and get a close-up picture so you can see some of that actually happening. Then we have another Festive Forest. This one is stitched by Vicky. It's always nice to see this done on Ada, and I think she's done just a beautiful finish. I love her embellishments on the top. She said she went for a walk in the woods and just collected things right there by her house to use for her Festive Forest embellishments, and I think it's just perfect. So thank you so much, Vicky, for sending that through. And then lastly, we have Cohaba and Sphinx. This one was a freebie that I designed for the Stitching in the Wild retreat at Garon Stitchery this past year, 2004. And she stitched it on this great fabric. I just love the way it came out. I think she's going to do something extra fun for the finish. We were talking about potentially some options, but she wanted to do something a little different. So it's possible we may even get to see this one again. So thank you very much, Cheryl, for sending that through. As always, if you've stitched a blue flower design and you'd like to show me, I would love to share it. And if you are stitching a blue flower design and you want some inspiration, go check out the Stitching in Action page on the website and you can see what other people have done. So that's it. What I'm stitching, I have been personal stitching lately, which is not just great because I love stitching, but I tell you, it's been heavy times in the world, especially lately, and there's a lot going on, a lot of things, in addition to it's being a really busy time at my day job and with market prep. It's just been a lot, and so to be able to sit down and just stitch for personal pleasure is really calming for my mind, and I have appreciated that even more than usual. And as an added bonus, I have finally finished the 4 panels of the Things Of that I've been working on by Posie. That was my project for last year. Oh, pardon me. I haven't decided. I was originally thinking I'm going to do them as a big block, but then I was sort of waffling, and so I haven't done the back stitching around the edges yet because I haven't quite decided how I want them to be finished. I may even reach out to Jolene at Acorns and Threads and see if she has some fun ideas. So until I know, I won't do the back stitching because that's geared towards a particular finish. So it's just nice to know that they're there. I love the way they came out. They were really fun to stitch, and I can't wait to have them displayed in my office. I also, in keeping with my theme for this year, finished a whip, so I get a new start. The one that I chose to do is this Fox and Rabbit, Elizabeth Cooper. I wasn't wild about the colors, although of course you can see the greyhound, and that's why I chose this one. I wasn't wild about the colors in the original, so I've switched it up quite a bit. I'm mostly just going as I go along and playing with the different palettes. I am going to use a different verse, and so I have skipped this whole section right here for now because I want to get the verse charted before I stitch anything around it. So you can see I've done the top section and I've worked down the side, and then I've just started one of the butterflies on the edge there. So I'm really excited to do it and see how it comes out. Although of course now all these wonderful market releases are coming out, so I need to stay focused because I know in just a few weeks I'll be at market picking up lots of fun stuff that I can't wait to start. But I will say this Elizabeth Cooper is going really quickly, so it's been fun. On to Stash Spotlight. I just got this little random collection, well, not random collection, I selected several things from an Etsy shop, and it's just a bunch of fun little trims. I'm not always great about using some of the embellishments, and so I wanted to try some new ones. These are just little felt hearts that are all already together, easy to work with. I've got this little rainbow fringe. You can see it's still tied together at the bottom, so it's not loose and fringy yet. I've got these tiny little bows on a string. I just got a whole selection of fun things, and I'll put the Etsy shop details in the notes, but I'm really hoping to do something a little bit more interesting than I usually do with some of these in a way that I can still manage. So we'll see how it goes. But on to the world around. I am so excited about this one. And you know, I designed the new market release Pigeon Puddle. That's great. I didn't look up anything about pigeons. We see them all the time. I figure I know something about pigeons. So I thought it would be a good time to choose the common pigeon as my world around. And boy, did I learn so much fun stuff about them. But the first thing I learned is that they're actually essentially doves. Doves and pigeons are the same family, and there are different varieties, but they're essentially the same thing. In fact, what I think of as the common pigeon is very often called a rock dove because, yeah, it's all the same group. Pigeons were domesticated over 5,000 years ago, which I knew they were domesticated. I didn't realize it was that long. In fact, ancient peoples would actually release a pigeon from a boat, apparently, and follow it to locate land. And they could do that because pigeons are incredible at navigating, even from a completely unfamiliar location. And science doesn't fully understand how they can do that, but they can. And that led to some things I'm going to talk more about later. But yeah, they're one of the oldest domesticated birds in history. Now, the ones that we see now are essentially feral pigeons from domesticated and then reintroduced into the wild. They're flocking birds, which is why you see them in such big groups. And they're incredible flyers. Not surprising, given what they were domesticated for. Up to a third of their body weight is actually made up of flight muscles. And racing pigeons or carrier pigeons can fly up to in excess of 500 miles in a single day and fly almost at 100 miles per hour. So pretty incredible. They have a particular style of drinking, which so much of this, I designed this thing because I saw pigeons standing around a puddle and didn't realize how much of that is particular to pigeons. Pigeons, unlike most birds, can drink directly through their beak. They don't have to tilt their head back and swallow. And so one source was saying, if you see a pigeon at a puddle, you can see them drinking this unique way, which I had no idea. Also, pigeons can recognize themselves in a mirror or a reflective surface, which is unusual for animals, but they can, to the point where they will not only recognize themselves in a mirror, but they will use a mirror to find something on their body that they can't see from their own vantage point of their head, but they can see it on a mirror and find it that way. And they can recognize individual people. So hopefully the pigeons that I see every day will maybe recognize us as nice people who give them seeds and design cross-stitch charts about them. We often encounter them in an urban environment where they excel at finding scraps, small insects, seeds, that sort of thing to eat. They eat mostly seeds, although a few other things. And I know a lot of people call them flying rats, but they actually do contribute to keeping some of the urban environment more clean by picking up scraps and seeds and other things that would otherwise attract actual rats. So, there's that. Given that we domesticated them and then just stopped taking care of them, I think that's one thing that we have to kind of let go of. that they're going to do what they need to do, and they are resilient and creative at problem solving and finding solutions and staying alive. As long as there's enough food available in the environment, they can breed any time of year. Although you may never see a baby pigeon, apparently, because they stay in the nest until they're nearly, full size isn't right, but enough like an adult looking pigeon that they rejoin the group. So you don't usually see them in that smaller state, a baby state, unless you happen to be near a pigeon nest. Pigeons, although they group together, are monogamous. They mate for life, they both raise the young, and they can both produce, it's not milk because they're not mammals, but a liquid that's high in protein and nutrients. Both parents can do this, and that's what the baby pigeons eat for quite a while. Wild pigeons nest high up in rock ledges and caves, and urban pigeons like to do the same as much as they can in their environment, which is why you see them up on eaves and tops of houses, that sort of thing. They have been used to carry messages because not only are they very good flyers, but they can navigate so well in ways we still don't understand. In fact, I read in World War II, the British government gives out a particular kind of award to animals for war work. Over half of the ones in World War II went to pigeons who carried messages to support the war effort. So that was pretty special. They're very intelligent. As I said, they can recognize themselves, they can navigate, they can problem solve, do a lot of things that we tend to think of as reserved for maybe primates or certain other very intelligent creatures. They also are, and this is totally random, incredibly good at identifying cancer cells. Who knew? So yeah, it was a real treat for me to learn not just a lot about pigeons and things that related to the design that I did of them looking into a reflective surface, maybe even drinking. But yeah, I think I'm going to be giving the common pigeon quite a bit more respect going forward, and I think they deserve it. All right, question. Last video, my question was, do you like to read? And I got lots of good recommendations from all of you. This video, the question is, what's the new release, the new market release that you are most excited about? And I've been keeping a running list. There is, boy, I think this year there's a lot of good stuff. I mean, there's always great stuff, but this year there just seems to be so much more than usual. I'm so excited. I think the very top of my list, though, is the new Plum Street with the Dachshunds, and I'm really excited about that one. I have a couple in that series that I haven't stitched yet, so maybe this year that will be a thing for me to finish up. But I'm definitely putting that one at the top of the list, and I can't wait to get started. All right, giveaway. Last video, because it's new release time, I've got 5 new releases and picked 5 winners. Now let's see, I need my notes here so I can read them all properly. Oh, without my glasses, yikes. All right, 5 winners. Christy Flanagan 122, Gwen K3, Jennifer Pistole 6128, Trudy Meyer 430, and Kimmerick 97524. Reach out to me, each one of you. You can have any one of my designs, new release or previous release, whatever occurs to you. Just send me your email and your mailing address if you'd like a physical copy, or email address if you'd like an electronic copy, and I will send those to you. All right, giveaway this time. This is When I Think of Flowers by Puntini Puntini. I really like this chart, and I think the flowers in particular are very appropriate for this time of year. So use the word flower in your comments, and I will pick a winner for the next video. Announcements. Speaking of the next video, it's going to be 3 weeks because 2 weeks from today I'll be in Nashville Market. So hopefully the weekend following that, when I get back, we'll be ready to do a video with the full recap and lots of fun photos and be able to share the market experience with you. So it'll be 3 weeks until the next one. Also, I have just quick photographs here of this first one is Mushroom Squirrel. This is the design that I have in the Nashville cookbook. So if you're getting a copy from your local shop, I put in a little mushroom gnocchi recipe that we like quite a bit, and this little mushroom foraging squirrel is also in there as well. And then the market freebie is this one from the Night Garden collection by Threadworks. You'll see a ton of designers doing amazing designs with this thread. There are 4 threads in the collection, and lots of people have done them. Mine is the free market design, so any shops that buy from me at market will be able to get that design as well, and they can pass it on to you. But if you get the threads, you'll be able to stitch a ton of really fun designs. So if you keep an eye out for those, there's lots to enjoy. Now we have a puppy video at the end. It's been a quick, I don't know, I guess it hasn't really been that quick. I've had a lot to talk about, but I feel like I've been going fast, probably because I'm filming later in the day instead of first thing when I'm still trying to caffeinate and get moving. So that's me for this time. I'm sorry I missed you guys last week, but it's nice not to have a headache, and I'm just really appreciative that you joined me today, and I hope to see you again in 3 weeks. In the meantime, I'll try and do better about posting some pictures while I'm at market. That's not generally my best thing, but hopefully I will hang out with people who remember, and that will remind me to do it as well. So whether it's Friday night when I get this up or Saturday morning, I appreciate spending time with you, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. Talk to you in a couple of weeks.